Hi, it's me, Tracy, your literary and tea time companion. And today I have a different topic to share than usual. Books for younger readers. Now, if you've been here for a little while, you know that the majority of my reading is adult-based reading. Adult fiction, nonfiction, poetry for adults, but I do actually enjoy dipping into what would be considered reading for younger people. YA fantasy, I do enjoy that very much, YA fiction in general. Although I would say that the YA bracket seems to be stretched a little bit at times. There are some YA books that I have encountered that the themes are very adult, especially when I compare to them to what would be considered YA fiction when I was younger, which was rather different than today. I do also enjoy dipping into reading that would be considered for middle grade readers as well, and that will be today's focus topic. I read a book recently that just prompted me to offer this as a different topic to talk about, especially as it is back to school time for many, and gift giving season is coming up ahead with Christmas. And what could be better than receiving a gift for a birthday or for Christmas, maybe back to school gift? So today we're talking about reading books for younger people, for the young at heart too. The book that prompted this topic video is the new novel for middle grade readers by Tsvi Jolles. I have featured the work of Tsvi Jolles in a previous video, a couple of previous videos actually. I will link those in the description box for you. Shortly after the new year, I read Tsvi Jolles's Tangerines, the Gilly Diaries, book 1, and Apricots is the Gilly Diaries book 2, where once again we meet Gilly, a year older, and the diary-like narrative draws us into this young girl's vivid imagination. And the diary also is a way that she processes the world around her, and she has a lot to deal with now at age 11. Changes with her family situation. A new teenager has arrived in the neighborhood. She's facing some challenges with her childhood friend, Augie. And once again, as in Tangerines, now in Apricots, there is a different adventure that has happened in the woods. And when an accident hits close to home, Gilly's world is shaken, and she is now exploring a new territory of loss and grief. And she does this in her own special way through prayers and through writing. And it is in writing where she finds the courage to hold on to love, which is what keeps her strong, and especially when things fall apart. This novel is just really beautifully written, and there is quirky humor laced throughout the story, and the magical realism adds so much delight. It's just such a wonderful read. There are literary references as well, which are also really charming, laced throughout the story. It is so good to be back with Gilly again and experiencing another new adventure with her. Gilly is she's a bit like an old soul in a young body, and she's just such a child of my heart. I love her so much, and I can't wait for another new adventure. I hope there will be a book 3, and I can't help but wonder if there will be a fruit theme again for the 3rd book. I'm hoping for maybe apples or plums, but I know that you will be enchanted by Gilly. Please, I do recommend reading Tangerines, the Gilly book, Diaries 1, and before Apricots, you will meet Gilly in Tangerines and have more get to know her more before you move on to Tangerines, to Apricots. And I really highly recommend the work of Tsvi Jolles. Another book for younger readers is Willow and the Wishing Tree by Philip Stengel. In the heart of Glimmer Grove, where there is a magical tree, a wishing tree, alive with celestial magic, we meet Willow Pebblebrook. What a cute name. Isn't that a cute name? Willow Pebblebrook, who stumbles upon a secret that could unravel her world. The trees, the magical wishing tree, the brilliance of the tree begins to fade, and an ancient magic called gloom awakens. And Willow must summon some courage that she didn't even know that she possessed. So she sets out on a journey, but she is not alone. She has a talking hedgehog, a frog who wears polka dot boots, and there is a worrisome, scholarly owl along with her, and with her companions. She sets out to recover 3 heartwood stones, and in each of the seeds, the heartwood seeds, it is her fear. There is her fear in each of these stones, and the vulnerability turns into an unexpected adventure. Is the best way I could probably describe what happens. The fate of dreams, magic, and the forest. All of this is so wonderfully drawn in this story, and the characters are just so sweet, so charming. The quest that they are on really touches your heart. Willow really touches your heart. She is a shy child full of dreams, but these quiet fears sometimes stop her, but she gains strength through the courage of this adventure that she must undertake. And it is just a completely delightful story. I would suggest that this is probably maybe for readers ages 8 and upward. I think that you will really enjoy Willow and the Wishing Tree. Next, I would like to share Olaf and Essex by Patty Kalkaz. And here we meet the very gentle and sweet bear Olaf and his very clever, cunning fox friend Essex. And the pair of them find a magically vulnerable baby that has been abandoned by a bumbling set of witches in Central Park. And they embark on a rather daring quest through an alternate New York City to protect this child from dark forces and even from the powerful NYPD's chief magic detector. This is a kind of a story where friendship and courage are possibly the biggest magic. The biggest magic that is strong enough to save this baby, to save the world, as it were. There are witches, there are secrets, there are talking animals, there is a cranky cat, a Shakespeare-loving tree. There is just so much warmth and sweetness to this story, but also a power in it too, as all quest stories are, aren't they, where our heroes or heroines rise to the occasion and save the world. You know, it's just such a darling story. I really enjoyed it so much. There were some lovely illustrations as well. I would probably, if I could have one line for this, I would say that it would be, think Jungle Book in the city. That is probably the best way to describe this very fun book. I would say that this is probably for ages 8 and up. It would make a really great read aloud story as well. This is not a brand new book. I think it was published about a year ago, so new-ish. But a publishing date doesn't matter. A wonderful book is a wonderful book, and I think that you and your family or any young people in your life will really love Olaf and Essex. And next I would like to share A Place of Turquoise by Karina Saalfeld. And in this story we meet young Robert, who his peaceful summer day at his family's summer place by a lake has been taking an unexpected turn in that his parents have vanished. And with the help of his loyal, very talkative, and opera-loving dog friend, Farty, they set out to find out what has happened to their parents. And it's another story of a quest. And they meet a sassy blackbird who sets them on a course. And then they meet a very street-smart dog who also takes them up in company, and they reach a place that is a turquoise realm. They learn that Mom and Dad have been trapped inside an enchanted castle, and being in this castle means their memories have vanished. Their memories have been stolen. So our dynamic boy and dog duo and friends, they bumble through a set of almost mini adventures to find a magical kind of sand that may restore everything to rights and bring the family together again. It is just full of bravery and sweet humor. There's just a lot of lovely humorous moments and just the power of friendship seems to be a theme in all of the stories that I've been talking about so far. I just really found this particular story having a bit more of a different kind of a magical edge. It was really just really enchanting. You really fell in love with the characters and wishing them well on their journey. I really just love this one so much. I can really highly recommend A Place of Turquoise. I believe this was published back in 2023. Again, not the publishing date matters so much when a good story is a good story for all time. And again, I think that any young people in your life or you yourself will really enjoy A Place of Turquoise by Karina Saalfeld. One last selection for today. This I borrowed from the library. Toto the Ninja Cat and The Great Snake Escape by Dermot O'Leary. Look at that cover. I love it so much. I borrowed this from the library. I just finished this book and I felt like I really wanted to include this one. Let me read the blurb for you. Toto the cat and her brother Silver live footloose and fancy-free in a townhouse in London. Toto is almost totally blind and learned to trust her senses from a ninja cat master who taught her back in Italy where they were born. By day, Toto and Silver seem to be ordinary cats, but by night, they love to have adventures, as cats do, don't they? One evening, news reaches Toto that a king cobra has escaped from the London Zoo. Together with help from a very posh cat and 2 hungry tigers, Toto and Silver must investigate. Can they find the big giant snake before it's too late? I would say that this could be for possibly slightly younger readers, maybe 6 to 8. This would be a really fun family read aloud book, like maybe in the evening, bedtime reading, that kind of a thing. And it's just so much fun. The back, there are great illustrations here. I thought I'd just share a couple of them. They have kind of a nice old-fashioned quality, I would say. Just really charming. Here's Toto flashing her ninja moves there. Just really, really sweet. I love this story so much. I Oh, here's the snake. I loved it so much. I I had a great time with this. I think that this is a series. There are 5 books in this series so far, at least. I also read that there are, I believe, some rights now that this is going to be turned into perhaps a television series. I really hope so. I could really see this story. A ninja cat getting up to all kind of capers would be a fantastic show for kids or the young at heart. I'm going to see it if there's something. I really love this so much, and I think that the young people in your life, and you with your young heart too, will really love the adventures of Toto and her sibling Silver. I hope that you enjoyed this different special edition. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see more on this topic in the future, books for younger readers. And please also share any recommendations in the comments that you might have as well, so that others finding this video at any time might also see some other recommendations that would be great to offer to younger people in their lives. And please share with me what you enjoyed reading as a child, as a younger person. I would love to know more about that. It's interesting to think about what we enjoyed when reading as we were younger, and the very different stories that are available now. I think there's such a great wealth of reading for readers of all ages, for the very young to those just learning to read, and upward through young adult. There's just so much great reading out there for younger people these days. I had so much fun putting this video together and sharing these tales of friendship, courage, and magic. Just, I think no matter the age, those are themes: friendship, courage, and magic that we really appreciate in stories. I feel really strongly about such stories, and so from my young heart to yours, I thank you so much for today. And until next time, I wish you much love and many blessings. I will see you again here very soon.